There is a supernatural hotel in New York, the room 1408. No one see it open before. This room 1408 since 1912 until now. There were 56 people die in there. They jump, used poison, hang themselves. No one know what happened in that room. To avoid more accident, the hotel closed that room, but there is a writer. He writes story about ghosts, supernatural. He visited any room have ghosts in all over the country, but he never see one. So when he heard about that room, he came to that hotel right away. He said he wanted that room, but the receptionist said no. She called her director. That man smiled and said, "We will give you the president room." But the writer said he just wanted that room. The director invited the writer to his office. He not smile anymore. He said with serious face that the writer couldn't stay in that room, but the writer didn't listen to him. The director pulled out a notebook and gave it to the writer. The first page is first victim died in 1912 when the hotel have opened for 1 week, cut his throat in the bath. The writer saw next page. Every page was different victim. The director said, "No one can survive more than 1 hour." The writer felt interested. He determined to stay in that room. "If you say no, I will sue you." The director said yes. He even took the writer to that room by himself. The writer asked, "So that room is dusty?" The director said, "We clean it 1 per month. There are 3 people do that. No one stay longer than 10 minutes and they have to let door open." Few years ago there was a woman. She had been locked in the bathroom. When we came, she lost her eyes. 14th floor. The director suggested that the writer not go into that room, but the writer didn't believe. So here he is now, alone. He walked to the room 1408 and saw the notebook in the same time. The next page was even more terrifying, more bloody. He couldn't take his eyes off. Suddenly, he realized. He came back to the elevator as if some supernatural power dragged him off the room. He put the notebook down and focused on the room. Before he entered, he saw a mother push the pram. Looked unsafe. Finally, he reached the room 1408. He put the key, turned it, opened the door, turned on the light. Everything seemed normal. He smirked. He took a look around. TV was normal, the toilet was normal, the mini bar was normal too. There was an air condition but still hot. The floor have stains was a bit weird. The writer opened the window. Everything was normal. At that time, the radio suddenly opened, made him scared. When he turned, he saw a ghost. Someone put some fresh sheets on the bed. He thought that there was someone else in that room, so he looked for everywhere, but no one there. Then he realized someone changed the toilet paper. He felt hot. The air conditioner was broken. He called the reception. Asked they sent someone to fix it. They agreed. He started to freak out. He turned off the light, held the ultraviolet light. There was blood everywhere. He turned on the light and saw the paint was leaning to the right. He fixed it, and then he heard the doorbell. The repairman. He opened the door, but the repairman didn't come in. He said he would tell the writer how to fix it from outside. The writer did what the repairman said. When he turned back, the repairman was disappeared. He closed the door. He couldn't hear anything. He leaned on the window. No sound at all. When he turned back, the window closed by itself. It was so hurt, he screamed, and it was difficult to pull his hand back. His hand was bleeding. He came to the bathroom, opened the faucet, but hot water came out. He scared, back to living room, and called the reception. He said, "I want to change room," but the reception didn't reply and started talking about hotel. He yelled. But the other said he couldn't do that, then hang up. He got scared. Ran to the door but it won't work. The key too, the door became the wall. He looked through the small hole, saw outside, but there was an eye. He stepped back. Came to the window, looked for help, help, help. He saw. In the opposite building, there was a room. A man was sitting. The writer called. That man saw the writer and got up. The writer waved his hand for help. Waved, but something strange. The man did exactly what the writer did. He found out that not a man, but that was reflection. He hold the lamp. The man in that room hold the lamp too. Turn out that man was the writer, ghost, but there was something more scary. When he turned around, there was the same person behind him, but that person disappeared. The writer panicked. He ran to the window and threw the lamp, but it disappeared. He was extremely appalled. He told himself it's just hallucination, but it appeared more. The spirit of people who die in that room climbed up the window and jumped. 1, 2 reminded what he should do. He didn't want to give up. He opened the hotel's blueprint. There was a window in the next room. He calculated, only 9 steps. He can jump to the next room. So, he climbed out the window. But just 9 steps. He didn't dare to look down. He pressed himself to the wall and took small step. 1, 2, 3. The wind blew so hard. And 9 steps, but he didn't reach any window, and he realized there was no window out there. Only the endless wall. So he turned back, came back to the room 1408. The window closed right after him. He stood up and saw the blueprint again, but it had changed. There was only the room 1408. He looked through the small hole again. Nothing but the wall. The window turned to the wall too. The 1408 turned to backroom. The air conditioner was decrease in temperature. He opened the app and video call with his ex-wife. When he just talked, the sprinkler system activated. Water sprayed everywhere. Made his laptop broken. That was his last hope. Nobody can hear him now. Absolutely nobody. The man never believed in religion. Now hold a Bible. Opened it. Blank page. The man never believed in God or ghosts. Now think about God. But too late. The room quickly cooled and began to freeze. Dropped down to minus. No way to fix the air conditioner. He wrapped himself in a blanket, drank, and light the fire. Suddenly, his laptop rang. He came to see his ex-wife still there. He asked his wife, "Did you call the police?" She said she already did it. He collapsed. He was in 1408. He knew that something wrong with that room. "I'm going to die." His ex-wife wanted to come to the hotel. He said, "Don't," but there was another man showed up and told his wife to come. "I'm in 1408. You should sneak into it," he screamed. But his wife couldn't hear. He saw himself on the screen. That man looked at the writer and smiled. Then, suddenly the room started to collapse. The painting shake. There were people on the boat asked for help and a big storm in the room. Couldn't stand anymore. He took a wooden stick. Water overflowed from the painting. The room full of water. He lost consciousness. When he waked up, he was in the hospital. His ex-wife stayed by his side. He really happened. Maybe the room 1408 is just a nightmare. He asked his wife, "Have you ever hear about Dolphin Hotel?" "No," she said. His life came back to normal. He forgot about the death of his daughter and came back with his wife. He wrote about what he had been through in room 1408 and sent it to the publish. But when he came to the publish, he saw a familiar face. That man worked at Hotel 2. An unbelievable scene. The repairman swung the hammer, broke the wall. The wall behind appeared. It was the room 1408. Turned out that he never left that room. The room was turned into ruin at this time. In that Latin room 1408, he saw his lost daughter. He cried and hugged her tightly, but not for long. She died again. He was in anguish. He couldn't accept his daughter died in front of his eyes. He madly broke everything in that room and cursed it. After that, it was countdown. He fended off an hour. The room became normal. The phone rang. He picked up. That was reception. She told the writer it was an infinity loop. But he could choose pay immediately service. He saw the rope. Seemed like she suggested he should suicide, and she said, "Your wife will come here in 5 minutes, just wait." He got mad. If he has to die, he will take the room with him. He used to hide from reality. He couldn't face with his daughter death. When his wife in pain, he left. He never came to visit his father was in the nursing home. He burned the room. Decided to die with it. In the hall, staff ran away. When his ex-wife came and saw the fire, she was very worried, but the writer made a decision. He smashed the windows with an ashtray. The room blowed up. The fight between the writer and room 1408. He didn't lose. No more victim. He would be the last one. Room 1408 has many ghosts. Represents the demon in person. When you face with it, someone will run and some other will fight. The lonely always lose. So don't abandon your family. They will make you stronger.